all, and good morning. Carpetbagger here, coming to you live from the north. More specifically, we're in Rochester, New York. Yes, had a wonderful and lengthy trip to Las Vegas, but have made the flight back to Rochester, New York. This is where Jen lives, and I'm gonna be staying in town here for a few days, and hopefully getting just a little bit of downtime before haunt season kicks into full gear. Now, Jen stays up here in Rochester, but not for long. Actually, in November, she's gonna move down to North Carolina, where we're gonna set the house up for the two of us. But in the meantime, she's gonna be staying up here, yeah, it's nice to be back in Rochester. Las Vegas is a lot of fun. Love all the over-the-top wackiness and craziness that goes on in Las Vegas, but it feels nice. It feels nice to be back in one of my homes and take a little downtime, a little quietness here of Rochester, New York. You may notice I have a new hat on my head, and that is the hat that I've been wearing this summer, the $30 hat I bought at Buc-ee's, and I wore all throughout the summer of carousels. Actually ended up leaving it at the Midway Airport in Chicago on accident. I was so tired, so out of it. I had a big I made a big mistake, because I take medicine at night to help myself sleep, and had to be up at the airport at 6 o'clock in the morning. Wasn't thinking. I was only probably gonna get about 3 hours of sleep. I took my sleep medication, so I was having to travel while very, very groggy on my sleep medicine. So in the haze of trying to switch planes and all that, I ended up leaving my summer carousels hat at the Midway Airport in Chicago. I'm sadly, I have small hope maybe someone recognizes the hat sitting there and picks it up. But yeah, so that hat, I guess, is retired. So I actually bought this hat that I'm wearing currently on Amazon. I showed some of the expensive hats I bought, and I liked them all, and none of them clicked just right. I ended up ordering this one off Amazon. I originally didn't want to order one off Amazon because you couldn't try it on first, but I actually like this one best of all my new hats. I got a few pins in there already. I got the Hodag pin. I've got the Magnetic Hill pin from Canada. So I think this is the hat I'm going for a while at least. I still have the classic pin hat, and I was thinking about wearing this throughout the end of the year, but I don't know, got me thinking. You know, when I left my summer carousels hat at the airport in Chicago, I thought, man, it bummed me out. But if it had been this hat, oh my gosh. So I think it's got to a point where this hat has so many memories attached to it, and such a connection to this hat, these buttons, these pins. I almost feel like it's too dangerous to take this hat around. So I'm thinking that this hat will be retired to the bunker as of now. It makes me a little sad to say that, but I think we're retiring this hat. I think I've had it probably about 4 years, been wearing this one. So we're gonna go with this one for now. You know, who knows? I may try out some different hats as I go along. If I see a hat somewhere that I like, I may try it. But I like this one. I like this one a lot. This was I think this was $30 too. This one is very expensive here. I ended up maybe, I don't know, maybe I'll wear this one someday. But I think this $30 one over this $120 one. I think for now, because I like the way it looks. Let me know in the comments section if you like the new hat. But that's not the only thing we're going to be retiring today. So please follow me. Stopped off in the small town of Albion, New York. There's something I wanted, something new here I wanted to check on. It's kind of idyllic little small town. See the wall dog there for the gold medal flower company. It harkens back to a day when people picked which type of flower they purchased based on paintings on walls. But here's the reason that I came down to Albion, New York. It's because the people of Albion, right here on their main street, erected a statue of Santa Claus. You can see a wonderful likeness of Santa there. But this is not exactly just 100% statue of Santa, not just for the pure sentiment of honoring Santa Claus and his great works. This is Charles W. Howard, one of Santa's helpers, if you will. Of course, Santa, very busy, cannot make every appearance, cannot appear at every Christmas parade, cannot be at every shopping mall. So, you know, you have to have trained helpers that don his suit, don the beard, and go out and work to help Santa make all the good girls and boys happy. And Charles W. Howard here, he was one of the greatest Santa's helpers of all time. He actually started the first ever Santa school in 1937, and apparently the school is still in operation in Michigan now. But he would train people to be professional Santa's helpers. Says that this was kind of his traditional suit here. He popularized this particular way of dress as a Santa's helper. And you know, being a Santa's helper it's an art form. I know Mick Foley did a documentary. Mick Foley, the wrestler, obsessed with Santa Claus, did a documentary on dressing as Santa, as portraying Santa. And once upon a time, if you look at some of my older videos, I did crash a Santa convention until I was kicked out by security. But that's that's a whole nother thing. So yeah, Charles W. Howard, the Santa's helper from here in Albion, New York. You can see that mural there shows him in his sleigh with his 8 reindeer. And Charles W. Howard actually did portray Santa in the Macy's Thanksgiving Day Parade. So I don't know if there's any higher honor for a Santa than to appear in the Macy's Thanksgiving Day Parade. So a man here from Albion, New York, that helped spread the good word of Santa. Not 100% clear on what this platform is. I don't know if this is a platform that Santa can climb on and wave to the good people of Albion. Yeah, they have this like raised platform right here next to the Santa statue. And oh, hiding back there, we have a flat Santa. And there you see the mural, home of the original Santa school, the reindeer right there on the side. We walk down here, you can actually see the famed Erie Canal. Looks like they're actually completely replacing the bridge here. There's currently no bridge leading from Albion over top the Erie Canal here. But there it is, the Erie Canal. If you look up here, there is a calamity marker. This calamity right at the top. And it talks about this specific calamity that occurred September 28th, 1859. It says 250 people and 5 horses were gathered here on a wooden bridge to watch a tightrope walker cross the canal, collapse, killing 15 people. That's very, very, very sad and horrifying, as the bridge had too much weight on it. People watching the tightrope walker and collapse, sending them all into the canal. Wow. And here we head over top the Erie Canal. Oh, careful. It's a narrow bridge. This Robbins Americana Country Antiques. I love the little mascot there on the sign. Yeah, just look at that little guy. Makes me want to buy antiques. We've come out here to Lyndonville, New York. Driving in, it appears that this is Amish country. Saw a few horses and buggies on my way in here. But we traveled out here to see this. It is a grove, an entire grove of shoe trees. Now, I've made a point to try to hunt down shoe trees on my journeys. Different shoe trees in different locations. I'm very fascinated by this phenomenon. You see all the shoes dangling from the trees, and in some ways, shoe trees are a mystery. Like, how does a shoe tree start? Is it just one pair of shoes that starts? Does one person make the independent decision to throw their shoes on a tree to start a shoe tree? Or maybe a group of people makes the decision together to throw all their shoes onto a shoe tree. Get 4 or 5 shoes dangling from a tree. Maybe that starts the trend where others start to add their shoes. Maybe it's a pact. Maybe there's an agreement amongst a community that they will take their shoes and throw them on a specific tree or specific group of trees. Yeah. How many shoes does it take to start a shoe tree? If one shoe is like the seed that is planted. But nevertheless, you see these clusters of shoes. All these different shoes hanging from these trees. You can see dangling from the branches, but also the trunks here have shoes nailed to them, or actually that's like a driven in there. I need to maybe take up this method of adding to a shoe tree, because that shoe's not going anywhere. Sometimes the branches get a little heavy with all the shoes hanging on them. So this may be the more secure way. Or if you need like a power drill or something to put that shoe in that tree, I may add that to my repertoire of traveling items. Okay, some people write on the shoes. This one says, "Love means learn to love, to give it all away. Maybe today." So some shoe philosophy there. But as a traveler, I don't know, I see something different than just a tree full of shoes. I see hundreds and hundreds of adventures strapped to these trees. All these trees, all these shoes, you know, live their own lives on someone's feet. All these shoes mark a period in these people's lives, a period that came to an end. Adventures that were had in these, lives lived, loves found, loves lost, all in these shoes until they were finally retired here on the shoe tree. You can see that these are like corrective shoes or braces there. You know, maybe they serve someone well and helping them with their challenges. Now they're here on the tree. You know, maybe they no longer need these, or maybe they just grew a little bigger and needed a bigger set. But as I look at each one of these shoes, I think about, you know, who wore these? What did they go through? What did they experience while wearing these shoes? I've hung my my shoes on many a shoe tree. Actually try to keep my old shoes in my car so that when I come across a shoe tree, I can add my shoes there so they can meet with the other shoes. Almost like a retirement, almost like a retirement home for adventures. The shoes all gathered together. Each shoe here, each set of shoes walked their own path, saw their own different things, and then come here to rest all together. It's almost like a play on words when you think about it. The soles of the shoes. My friend Keith Holt, I think it's calls his shoe tree the tree of lost souls. Yeah, these souls aren't necessarily lost, but just a retired soul on a tree. But yeah, I think it's time. I always like to retire my shoes on a shoe tree if possible. You know, you don't always know where they are. Sometimes, you know, they're few and far between. Not every town has a shoe tree. It's kind of a unique phenomenon. Matter of fact, if you know of a shoe tree, leave a comment in the comment section. Let me know where I can find another place to retire my shoes. Now, these shoes on my feet right now, these are probably ready to be retired, even though they're not very old. I've probably only been wearing these probably about 2 weeks, but they've had some intense times. There's a new pair of Crocs that I got as I was headed to Las Vegas. And I'll tell you what, Las Vegas is hard on Crocs. I know sometimes people strongly associate me with Crocs, and I never was necessarily trying to make any sort of statement or endorse any sort of fashion sense. I remember when I got my first pair of Crocs, it was actually at Walt Disney World. Me and Anna were supposed to we were at dinner reservations. We had time to ride Pirates of the Caribbean before dinner, a ride we rode dozens of times before. And for whatever reason, I think I know the reason, but we got very, very wet on Pirates of the Caribbean. And if those of you who are familiar with Disney, you usually don't get very wet on Pirates of the Caribbean, but we got soaked. We got onto the boat. Usually if you have 2 people, they let 2 people sit in one row. They kind of put one group in each row. But for whatever reason, they were packing people in that day. And they put us in the front row, which is the smallest row, 2 of us, and then another 2 people next to us. So the boat was packed. Every seat was full. And when we went down the drop, the front of the boat went under water and the wave washed onto our feet, and our feet got absolutely soaked. Now, I cannot stand to have wet feet. That is just something that's always been with me. And actually, I had like a skin condition when I was a child where my feet would crack and the skin would come off my feet. Not all the skin, but like, you know, the dead skin. I had a lot of dead skin that would appear on my feet and peel off. It would be very painful, and it would often be triggered by getting wet. So I don't know if that's what sticks with me, but I have a very big phobia about my feet getting wet. I always have to keep them dry. I keep extra socks in the car so I can always make sure I have dry feet. But I got off Pirates of the Caribbean, and I had soaking wet feet, and I got a pair. Had to go and buy a pair of Crocs on Main Street at Disney World. My first pair of Crocs had instead of the regular holes, it had the Mickey heads, the head with the 2 ears, and I put those on. Actually got a pair of dry socks, put the dry socks on, put the Crocs on, and it was heavenly. I was like, these the most comfortable my feet have ever been. And of course I couldn't wear Crocs at work back then. I still have my job as a social worker. But when I became my own boss, I was like, there's nothing that can stop me from wearing Crocs every day. And I try to. The only time I don't wear Crocs is if it's wet snow. Sometimes if it's dry snow, I'll still wear Crocs. If it's wet snow, or if it's raining real hard, where the water can get in your Croc holes, then I will maybe look for another option. Other than that, I try to wear Crocs all the time. It's been an absolute love affair to me in Crocs, and I have a hard time finding regular shoes that fit me very well because I have like a wide foot in the front, so my toes are always crammed in regular shoes, and Crocs have like kind of a wide front. I wear my Crocs about a size 11 in Crocs, so it's about a size bigger than I wear in shoes. And Crocs do. Let me see if I can get these Crocs off for a second. Yeah, like I said, these Crocs are not very old, only about 2 weeks, but they have dealt with Las Vegas. You see the tread already coming off those. You want to be careful about that tread because they start becoming slippery. You start tripping if there's a little tread on there, and you can look at the blackness and look at the gunk stuck to these. That's Vegas. That's Vegas slime right there. I've always talked about when you go to Vegas, everything is covered in like this layer of this slime, which I think is like a mixture of like cigarette ashes, alcohol, vomit, and sand that causes this unique slime that covers everything. So only had these about 2 weeks, but I think I'm done. Not only are they slimy, but the tread is gone. I go through Crocs pretty fast because I wear them, you know, on concrete and in amusement parks. I think the Crocs when I did the 5 days at the state fair, I think I went through a pair of Crocs like within a week on that day. Sometimes they last a little longer if I'm doing you know, more inside stuff, but outside where it's hot, where I'm walking on asphalt, yeah, I can go through Crocs very, very quickly. And here we will transition into our brand new pair of Crocs. And I love putting on a new pair of Crocs. I love, you can still feel the little bumps on the inside of your feet. You can feel the support. Yeah, look at those treads. Look at those treads right there. That's a strong tread. They give a lot of support. When you first put them on, a lot of support. That support goes away very quickly. These treads start to scrape off, but love putting on a fresh pair of Crocs. So yeah, I think it is time to add my Vegas adventure to the shoe tree. Kind of funny to think about it. You know, I know exactly where I was in these Crocs. You can tell by the sludge. This is my Vegas trip right now, my Vegas Crocs. So if you ever want to come back and reminisce about my Vegas trip, just come out to the shoe trees here and find my yellow Vegas Crocs. So normally to make the shoes hang, people tie the shoelaces together and then throw them like a bolo over the branches. Unfortunately, my Crocs do not have laces. Crocs do not have laces, so I have to come up with another solution. So we got to find a way to bind these Crocs together. See if I have some solution here in my first aid kit that I carry in my car. Oh, there's a fly on my hand. Okay, let's see what we have here in the first aid kit. We have this, I don't know if this is like cloth tape here. Let's see if I can get that. Yeah, this is like a strong cloth tape. I don't think you could tear that. It's like untearable tape. So let's wrap this around there. We'll create a little bit of length there to give the Crocs some tape to wrap around the branches, and we'll tie that to the other Croc there. There's a lot of flies out in this cornfield. All right, I think that's good and tight there. these medical scissors. There we go. See if that'll hold. Yeah, I think that'll do. See if we can throw these on the tree. Now this can be tricky. You want to throw them on there. You get a good grip on the tree. If you get it like not tight enough, then it might fall off later. But you know, you can't get up there. You can't move it. So once it's in the tree, it's stuck, and you want to get it stuck in there good, not just stuck a little bit, because then it could blow out the next time there's a snowstorm or windstorm. And I know Roadside America has their own guide on how to land shoes on a shoe tree. I know they say that knocking someone else's shoes down is bad luck, so let's go for it. Okay, wish me luck. Let's hope these Crocs sail true. It's hard. This is embarrassing. Yes. Okay, I realized that took an embarrassing number of attempts, but I finally landed it. You know, I think it's difficult maybe to throw Crocs because they don't weigh very much, so it's hard to get the momentum. You know, the other shoes, the heft of the shoe kind of helps carry it over, but Crocs are much lighter. But yeah, I pretty much landed them exactly where I was trying to. Got it over that branch there, landed with the rope right over the branch with both Crocs dangling. So there it is. There's my Vegas adventure right there. And if you'd like to come see my Vegas Crocs, just come out here to the Lindenville shoe trees. You can see the yellow Crocs lighting up the shoe tree here, joining all these other abandoned souls together, where these shoes, these Crocs, these boots, they can all converse and share their adventures with one another. And that'll do, Crocs. That'll do. And that is why you always want to keep a first aid kit in your car. So I've got some bright blue, fresh Crocs on my feet and a long, lonesome road in front of me. Lots of adventures to come. And we are on the precipice of haunt season. Got some spooky stuff planned for this September and October. As always, I like to do a lot of the spooky stuff. One of my favorite times of the year. I like doing the amusement park events, as well as the standalone haunts. And just, you know, if anyone out there like owns a haunt or wants me to come out to it, I'm willing to see what we can work out. There's only so many weekends in October and September where haunts are open, so I can't make any promises right now about particular haunts that I can or cannot be at. I'm willing. I've had a lot of requests so far. I'm trying to see if I can make it out there, because there's haunts all over the country. I can only be so many places at once. There's only so many weekends to do them. So I'm still trying to pin down when I'm gonna be where. If you, like I said, if you own a haunt, if you'd like me to come out, absolutely send me a message so I can see if I can work it into my plan, see if we can work something out. Just send a email is probably the best way. I have an email in the description of this video. Shoot me an email. I can't make any promises right now if I'm coming out to particular haunts, but I love ideas, and maybe even if I can't do it this year, maybe you can look at doing haunts next year, or doing haunts, you know, if they have off-season events. But, you know, let me know. Always looking for new places to explore, new and unique haunts, as well as, you know, I would like to do some non-haunted content this fall as well. I know not everyone gets into the scares and screams, so we'll be trying to do some other content as well, because I know some of you don't like the haunted stuff, and that's fine. I do. But I can understand hearing me scream for 2 months straight can be a bit much on everyone. So I'll try to mix in a little bit of other content as well, as we are traveling the country, visiting spooky places. And yeah, I can tell you one though. I do have one haunt 100% locked in and pinned down, and that is I will be at Everhaunt in Angola, New York on Friday the 13th of October. We'll be attending their haunt, and I'll be doing a meet and greet, so I'll be there for the evening. So if you'd like to come out and meet me, you know, you want to check out the haunt and meet me as well, please come out. Again, October 13th, Friday the 13th. So I'm very excited. I'm very excited to have been invited. I'm very excited to be there. So yeah, if you'd like to meet me and like to get terrified at a haunt, please come out to Everhaunt in Angola, New York. And so yeah, haunt season, probably the busiest time of year for me. And so it's always a whirlwind. Always a whirlwind around the country, trying to figure out where to be, where I'm gonna be. And also, you know, like I said, I got a big move coming. I'm going to be moving back in the meantime in November. We'll be moving Jen into my home in North Carolina. It's mine now. Me and Anna's not staying there because she's in college. Of course, you know, she can come and visit, but right now there's no one there. There's no one there. So I'm gonna probably stop by there, and I think Jen's gonna help me get it fixed up for the big move. So that's exciting. That's on the horizon. So I may be documenting, you know, just some of my personal life and some of what's going on with this big move. And yeah, I'm really nervous about it. Not nervous about having Jen or anything like that. Just this big move that stresses me out. Of course, you can't really you know, predict how life's gonna turn out. When I moved the last time to this house, I'm like, I'm never moving again, because I hate moving. I hate the process of packing stuff up. I hate the process of transporting stuff cross country. So that's what's got me all stressed out and worried. Of course, you know, Jen's gonna be taking care of most of it while I'm traveling and working. But yeah, so it'll be a new normal, and it's just been crazy because how long I've been living out of a suitcase. I've been living out of a suitcase since, I would say, because December of 2021 is when I really kind of became full-time nomadic, not really having a home base. But I was probably living out of a suitcase before that. Just the travels have been nonstop. You guys can see I cover a lot of ground here. So, and I'll continue to cover a lot of ground. I'll continue to do a lot of traveling. But at the same time, you know, I'm looking forward to having a home, having a reliable place. You know, I would have stayed up in Rochester more. It's just difficult, kind of out of the way to try to get here when I'm trying to travel to other places. It's kind of an island out here. It's actually, funny thing is, Rochester is actually, if you're in Rochester, New York, you can actually get into a different country before you can get into another state. It's actually closer to the Canadian border than it is to any of the other states bordering it. So I've enjoyed exploring this area, the Rochester area, but I'm kind of excited to get back to my home and you know, between me and Jen, kind of make it our own. I always had the bunker was kind of my space, but I'm ready to grow out of the bunker and make my home truly mine, so excited about that. Excited, just excited about a lot of stuff on the horizon. Got some ideas for some road trips for next year. I'm already thinking of like what I'm going to be doing this time next year. It's got to the point where you know, you have to make choices. What events you're going to be where. It's already like stuff that I didn't hit this year, making plans to hit it next year. Of course, we got the state fair, just kind of try to keep knocking them out as well. So tons of stuff going on this channel that I hope you guys will enjoy. And I did want to clarify, like, some people criticized me saying I was complaining about being exhausted from traveling. I was really just stating a fact. You know, it's exhausting. I'm not complaining because it's 100% my decision. I make the decision to travel. You know, I could choose to make my living doing something else, but I choose to do this because I love this, and I love being able to travel, and I love being able to share it, and I love that this is my job and this is what I do. So you get exhausted. You know, you get exhausted doing stuff you love. And even though, you know, it's more rewarding. It's more rewarding when you're doing stuff you love, but you're still, you know, you're still flesh and blood and traveling. You know, I tend to when I make plans, I tend to overestimate my ability. Like I think, okay, I can do this. Get 8 hours of sleep, get up, drive 6 hours, then film for 3 hours. You know, it's like, it all like makes sense in my head. And then when I actually go to do it, I'm like, what was I thinking when I planned all this? But yeah, so yeah, I love traveling. Don't ever think that I don't. And I appreciate every one of you. Everyone of you that's been buying the pins. By the way, new pins in the pin shop. I brought back the Halloween pins, brought back the Carpetbagger suitcase pin. So if you're interested in those, please check those out in the pin shop. But yeah, I appreciate just the watching of the videos, helps me out so much. I'm really blessed. I don't know how I got here. I don't know how I managed to get to the point I am. You know, I look around YouTube, look around the other people that are successful, and I can't understand it. I can't understand what it was about me that allowed me to be at least successful enough where I can make this my full-time job. I do feel truly blessed that I never ever want you guys to think that I take that for granted for even a moment. And yeah, so also I was just thinking, I was with haunt season coming up, one thing I do look forward to is spooky movies, scary movies. And that's, you know, I always, when I'm on the road, that's one thing I always miss is watching movies. I kind of, the past couple months I've been traveling so intensely that I haven't got a chance to watch any movies or shows or anything like that. Maybe once squeaked in here or there. So when we got back to Rochester, I'm like, we're gonna watch the movies tonight, Jen. I told her I wanted to watch Ghoulies because I saw the Ghoulie at Tom Devlin's museum. And we actually binged the first 3 Ghoulies movies, believe it or not. And enjoyed the first and second one, and maybe the third one a little bit. The first one is really strange. The Ghoulies little characters, you know, of course, Ghoulies, the thing that always comes to my mind is the VHS box art of the Ghoulie jumping out of the toilet. And the first one is this weird plot about a guy whose father was in the occult, and he starts getting into the occult, and he summons the Ghoulies, and it's really confusing and strange plot about rituals and summoning. And there's 2 magic dwarves named Grizzle and Greedy Gut. It's all very confusing. But then the second one is my favorite, my favorite of the Ghoulies trilogy, where they're actually at a carnival, and then and they're hiding inside of a haunted house at a carnival. It's so much fun. I love seeing the 80s carnival. It was a big hoot. And then I love the Ghoulies puppets are so much cooler in the second one. I love the creature design. The third Ghoulies has some problems. It's called Ghoulies Go to College, and the Ghoulies suddenly they can talk, and they're like wise cracking perverts now, and I don't know. It was definitely very odd and a very interesting direction to go in. So I'm also looking for suggestions for good horror movies for the Halloween season. Tell me what you'd like me to check out, and let me know, do you guys want to hear my opinion on movies? Do you want me to incorporate the movies into these videos? Maybe give my thoughts, my quick thoughts on some of the movies I'm watching, like I just did with the Ghoulies movies. I would definitely recommend watch Ghoulies 1 and 2. Probably skip 3. Maybe watch 3 just because it's so strange. Ghoulies Go to College. But let me know what movies you'd like me to watch, and if you want to hear my opinion on them. So that's one great thing about this vlog and this format, is I can always just ask you guys questions, bounce off ideas, and you guys always get back to me, which I appreciate. But anyways, I am gonna head back to the house. Again, thank you so much for your support. I appreciate it so much. Again, new pins in the pin shop, still doing cameos. I appreciate everyone that orders a cameo. That helps me out a whole bunch, and I hope that it is fun for you guys as well. And you guys help keep this train on the track, this boat in the water, and this dirigible in the air. Till next time, my friends, this one's in the bag.